Any death metal fans in the audience? Most of you, excellent. So join in when you know this one, please. Mother, you sit and stare as you lay me in the chair. Not many of you then. No, quality lyrics there. Written for me about me by Adam, lead singer of Necrotic, one of the top 3 death metal bands in the East Lancs area in the early noughties. The other 2 bands being, anyone? Satan's Anus, very good, thank you. And what's the 3rd one, anyone? Crucify the Clan, I don't know. So yeah, a death metal. Okay, I mean, you're looking at me like that. Anybody else had a death metal song written about them? No, you've not. Can I also ask you, has anybody here had a surgically reconstructed body part named after them? Didn't think so? I have. Another patient of mine, Maxine, great woman, she named her left surgically reconstructed nipple after me. Ian the nipple, true story. Reconstructed nipple, a frankly mediocre thrash punk band from... I just made that up. Okay. So yeah, death metal song and a surgically reconstructed nipple. Not the main reasons I went into dentistry, I'll be honest with you. So, Ian, why did you become a dentist? Good question. 2 reasons. Number 1, to cause lots of pain. Number 2, to be paid lots of money to cause lots of pain. Not the best answers to give at my interview at Newcastle in 1984, but this was the mid-80s, and let me be honest with you, it wasn't difficult to get into dentistry in the mid-80s. My A-level offer was a B and 2 Cs.
Aww,
I know, right? Yeah, I got it, shut up. So yeah, so off to Newcastle 1985, very quickly learned 2 things. Number 1, dentistry, it turns out, is really, really difficult. Don't know if you've seen teeth, but they're really small. I mean, really small. And not only that, they're inside this moist orifice with all these kind of folds, fleshy folds getting in the way. And all that's attached to a person who, if you accidentally drill a tongue or something, they don't like that. And you're meant to do all that whilst kind of sat behind them looking in a mirror. No, never quite got the hang of that. Second thing I learned, always wear gloves. Okay, believe it or not, certainly in the 80s, dentists didn't tend not to wear gloves. We were the first year, in fact, to be taught to wear gloves from the very beginning for all our clinical lessons, except for the anatomy class. Amazingly, we're given a body to dissect. I don't know why. But after sort of a morning rummaging around inside the abdomen of this body trying to find the kidneys, and all I can say is when you're that, at lunchtime when you sit down to take a bite out of that sandwich and, do you know what, I'm going to wear gloves. The other time I'm really grateful when you wear gloves is when you've got a patient in, usually a child, and you take an impression. That means sort of making a model of the teeth in order to have braces or something like that. You try to get the teeth, but you tend to get an impression of like the soft palate and the tonsils and what's that dangly thing at the back? The
uvula.
The vulva, correct. And you know, some kids don't like that, okay, and they start, you know, retching, and it has been known on occasion for the child while you're taking the impression. Am I right, Sophie? In the audience, yep. And you know, they will actually throw upon you while you're taking the impression. Well, you know, this is the NHS, you're not going to take the impression out, you know, you're only going to, you know, these things cost money. So you've got to sort of stand there and let them do their thing and kind of throw up over your hand while you're holding this in the mouth. Now, what I'm saying is that, you know that feeling when you kind of get into a nice warm bath? I think there's potentially a very expensive spa treatment. So yeah, that's what I learned, okay? Yeah, but Ian, I mean, the only reason you were a dentist because you weren't good enough to be a doctor. Shut up! Didn't want to be a doctor. Well, I mean, that's not quite too true. There's been a couple of occasions where I've actually tried to pretend to be a doctor. One time, about 12 years ago, I'm trying not to get eye contact with my son because you know exactly why I'm going for this. 12 years ago, we were on in a plane about to go to Paris. 3 days in Paris with the family, wife, 2 kids, on the taxiway, and there was a delay, so we're going on, you know, hanging around. What's the matter here? Eventually, the call goes over the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, is there a doctor on the plane? I didn't do anything, honestly, I promise you. I just, nothing. And the kids immediately looked at me, daggers in their eyes. Dad, don't you dare. Only a dentist. I didn't do anything. But anyway, clearly a bit of a kerfuffle up at the front, and another 5-10 minutes go by, call goes over again. Ladies and gentlemen, is there anybody playing with first aid training? I raise my hand. The stewardess comes down to me, and this is absolutely true. And as I explained, well, I'm not a doctor, but I am a dentist, and I do have extensive first aid training. She wasn't impressed. The look was sort of pity, incredulity. Anyway, she said, you know, thank you, sir. We'll let you know. And, so she walked back up the aisle, shoulders shaking, and fine, whatever. You know, having a conversation with a colleague at the front of the plane, and you could see the conversation as well. Right, well, what have we got? Okay, well, we've got a 7-year-old kid who says he's a Cub Scout and he's doing a first aid badge. And then there's the fat, desperate-looking dentist. The kid, have you seen the badge? Excuse me, sir, no problem at all. So I walked forward into the first class part, and there's this guy, and I admit he was looking a bit peaky, but he was moving, so I'm thinking that's a good sign. And there was a first aid kit there, okay, and in it there was the thing for blood pressure, the pumping things, so one of those, and the stethoscope. So I go, okay, well, this is cool. I've seen Casualty, I know all that. So I took the pressure cuff and I put it round his neck, and that definitely helped. Once I pumped that thing up, there was definitely a response. There was a bit of colour to his cheeks. Took the stethoscope, put it in his ears, and I took the other bit. Can you hear me? And another good response. He's looking okay here. Then thirdly, obviously I looked in his mouth, and to be fair, pretty good. He definitely flossed that morning. So the guy wasn't dead, didn't have gum disease. It's a 90-minute flight, and I've only got 3 days, and I really can't be doing with another delay. So I spoke to the pilot, I think he's fine. I'll just sit here, keep an eye on him, and it will be okay. Complete win. 90 minutes later, we land in Paris. The guy's not dead. Not on the flight, anyway. I've got to sit in the first class. My family adore me. And I got a letter from the president of Air France thanking me for my professionalism. How's that good? So, reconstructed nipple, letter from the president of Air France. That's a pretty good career, I would say. Thank you very much. Can I just apologise if I'm a bit of a speech impediment? I've actually got a brace on, which is kind of ironic, isn't it? And when your dentist is lisping because he's wearing a brace, isn't it ironic? Come on, death metal. Alanis Morissette, that was worth £8 of your money. Thank you very much.